Alright, what's going on guys? Today I'm going to be showing you a pretty wild game that I played on steps, and you guys can read right through me. You know if I have a smile on my face it's going to be a pretty good one, right? So here we are in the AMX 1375. I've been playing this tank quite a bit. I don't think I'm ever going to get the 3 mark on it. You guys know like how challenging it is to get 3 marks on tanks, especially in the matchmaking today, where you get into these games where the game is over in 4 minutes and it's like, how the heck are you supposed to build up enough damage and assist damage combined, damage, right, in order to get, a score that's going to get you closer to that 95%. But in any case, guys, we're going to be on steps, and I come out to this bush line. This is kind of risky, but the AMX 1375, yeah, it has pretty good concealment, so you're probably okay to come out here. And I do run this vehicle with binocs. It's tier 7, so I believe I run it with binocs, low noise exhaust, and optics. And I put optics in the scouting slot. No CVS at this tier, keep that in mind. So from this bush line, you can usually spot people in this area or also in this area, and I just like this. I think it's a little risky to come to this bush line, and the reason I say that is because you have the enemy right here. So quickly, I'll just draw this for you. I'm not even gonna like go out of the so you guys can still see the map and everything going on. It does pause it, but I want to show you this very briefly. This rock right here and bush is very easy to come to from the what is this, the south spawn, right? Because the way you approach it, you can just come right up, right? You usually don't get spotted. This bush is more challenging. I see a lot of light tankers try and make this play like this, right? And they try and come out to here, but the way this bush is near this rock, you oftentimes get spotted just because of the way the gap is there and all, and the bush is not very bushy. Like, it's just not the same, right? It's so much easier to come to this area of the map. So I want to show you guys that. Did you see the way I approached this bush? I kind of came all the way out like this and then went like that, right? The reason for that is because I'm suspecting that this guy is probably sitting in this area. I don't think he ends up there until later on in the game, or at least he's not spotted. There you go, perfect timing. He does end up right there, but that's why I approach it in that way. And look, I wasn't even lit because I knocked down this tree right here to give myself just a little bit of concealment, the tiniest amount of concealment, and he wasn't able to light me there. And now the M4 is in the middle as well. But if you're going to come out here, that's how I suggest you take this bush. You come literally out to it like that. Like, you don't have to go crazy, but you want to try and approach it so that you put like at least this bush in front of you as like between, so it's hard to explain. You want to put this bush in between you and this area as you're approaching, right? That way you don't get lit from this area by the light tank. So it's all about how you approach it right now. As you can see in this game, it's not going so well. And in the chat, if you look at the chat, I think you got to be in, I can hold control and it shows the chat. This guy was trying to tell me, there was one guy in here trying to tell me like, dude, go fight tanks over here, like go spot. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, dude, I'm not leaving here. Like, this is a great location for me. There's no reason for me to leave, but look at what we're going to be able to do here, guys. We spot the T-20 coming in. I'm sitting right in the middle of the bush line now, so I don't get spotted from either side. We're spotting the Panzer. No one has any idea I'm out here because I never got spotted on the approach, right? KV2 is here. We're even spotting the T-20 again over here, spotting the maybe we don't have the 1375 lit, but we're spotting like all these guys. And my team, man, like my team was just a really bad team in this game. It happens, guys. Like, again, I don't like to make fun of casual players. This is a very casual game. This isn't no like, Fortnite kind of game where you have all these, super competitive little kids or whatever to play. I hate to insult Fortnite, man. I've just never been into it. I always thought it was kind of kiddish and childish looking, but World of Tanks, man, you have a lot of casual players that play World of Tanks because it is a free-to-play game and all that, but it's just a very kind of casual game. It's not a super competitive like first-person shooter, right? So you can never insult players that are going to play this game casually, right? We just had the really casual bad team. It is what it is, and you move on. But I'm getting into this bush line, and I want to show you guys kind of how, I'm going to show you from my camera. Watch how I play around with these bushes. This is what I call bush work. I do it very well in some cases, right, guys? The KV2 pokes down there, so I'm just going to take these shots before he pokes back up, and I'm going to reload with APCRs. And now we're in a situation where it's basically me versus this entire enemy team, right? We got a few guys here, but they're going to end up melting off the map. Now, I make the mistake here in hitting this rock, kind of. I wanted to get out of here before the KV2 poked up, but he pokes up. I'm just going to keep all these rocks in between me and him, and I'm going to run away. But watch what I do to the KV2. As I'm running this way, he starts coming after me, right? KV2 starts coming after me. I'm making this play like this. I know this guy won't spot me because the KV2s, even with optics, don't have good view range, and I have like 40-something% concealment, at least like maybe 45 or something. So I know from this range, like there's no way this guy is going to spot me at 271 meters away. It's just not going to happen. There's no chance. There's no way in heck that this guy is spotting me. So I'm going to approach him like this, and then watch. I'm going to stop where the bushes are so that when I fire on this guy, sometimes the accuracy of the AMX 1375 is trollish, but watch how I'm able to do this, right? Ricochets there, and I get that one into him. Now, if I was lucky, which I never am, I would have been able to eliminate the KV2 from the game, but unfortunately we didn't there. We ricocheted one and missed another shot. But see how I put that bush in between me and him? In fact, it was probably a couple bushes because there's a line of bushes there. And I'm still losing my concealment value, my camo value, but the bush is not losing its concealment value, which could be upwards of, 40% or so. I think most bushes are 50% if you're solid behind them. So that's how I was able to take shots at the KV2 without getting lit. Now, obviously, this Panzer is in a location where this guy's going to light me. He hits me once here. I'm going to auto lock him quick, get that shot off, and I'm a little bit lucky there to be able to hit every shot basically and clean this guy up. So I eliminate him from the game, and now I'm going to continue running. Now, this isn't going to be any kind of crazy carry, guys. I die in like the next 1 minute here. Ignore the chat, by the way. Cromwell said bend over AMX, and I made a very nasty comment and said, I'm your daddy, you bent over. Like, just don't talk like this in the chat, guys. We're baboons. We're not supposed to talk like this in the chat. But I was just messing with this guy. He got an LOL out of it, so whatever. But I'm gonna hit the KV2 there. I'm gonna auto lock the AMX, and at this point we have to just try and put shells wherever we can put them. So I'm gonna put them into the Hellcat there. And now at this point, I should have probably just went this way and kept running away, but I didn't want to get hit by the T-34 and then the T-20s here as well. And I'm just getting surrounded. There's nothing I can do, guys. I'm trying to reload in time so I can get one more into the Super Hellcat. If I could have gotten away from here, I might have actually had a chance. They had, what, 2,300 or so HP left. Where my camera sits, it's almost like it's kind of blocking that number just a little bit at the top there, but around 2,300 HP it looks like they had. Maybe we would have had a chance. I still had enough ammo, I think, to pull this off, and I've had some crazy games in the 1375 that I have carried, man. There was one on the stream I did that was like 1v5, I think it was on Cliff one time, and the T-71 Da as well, I carried like a 1v4. Like, these types of tanks with these magazines are freaking OP, guys, if you know how to use them. And you'd be absolutely amazed, like, what you can do with these tanks. But yeah, by the way, guys, just ignore the chat. If you're a baboon, do not do this. Even if you're just being funny, like you're just making a stupid, silly, inappropriate joke, don't do that if you're a baboon, guys, because that's not what we're supposed to do. Like, just ignore the chat. Just use the affirmative, use the negative key, use the F7 key for help, whatever. Like, you can talk in the chat, just don't be toxic, man, because that's not what we're supposed to do as baboons. Like, even jokes, guys, just be careful in the chat, right? I urge you, just be careful in the chat. Don't be toxic in the chat. But anyway, that's the game, guys. Unfortunately, we died here. I did 2,100 damage visible, but I think it was about 2,447 or something like that, if I remember correctly, in the M plates. And we'll get into the M plates now. But if you guys have any questions about how I used the bushes here these couple of times, I really only emphasized and fully showed you the one we did against the KV2, like the clip we did against the KV2, but I used these bushes effectively about 3 times for like 3 different clips, right? Or magazines, whatever you want to call it, that I unloaded into people like across the map, right? And we used the bushes to stay concealed. So if you're not quite sure what I'm doing there, just leave a comment below and I'll respond, and I'll tell you kind of how that works. But it's really just game mechanics and using concealment to your advantage. So here's the M plates, guys. We'll get into them here. And we have a second class game. A couple of these special badges here. 2247, I'm sorry, was the final number. I thought it was 2400. 2247 damage, which isn't crazy, but it's pretty good, right, for this particular vehicle. And here we are up top here. VZ44 had a really good game, man. But our team just wasn't quite, you know, as good as theirs. We'll just say that. Their S51 had 1100 damage, so that's pretty good, man. And their 1375 also played really well. He had 1045 damage, 3 kills, and a good amount of spotting, I'm sure. If he had 901 experience. So yeah, I mean, it's possible that if I got away here, I could have tried to clean up this team, right? Because they had 2 arty players too. So like, I would say maybe even like a third of that HP was the arty players. So if I got away, man, I could have carried this, guys. Like, I believe it. Like, this map is big enough to be able to carry a game in my eyes. Steps, it's large enough and has enough bushes and ridge lines and stuff where you can probably get away with doing that, right? Like, I think I probably could have carried this if I could have gotten away, but unfortunately I just couldn't, guys, and yeah, it is what it is. But here you go. Here's all the detailed, you know, statistics for the battle. We fired 22 shots. We penned 18 of them, guys. I thought it was a pretty good game, you know, and a lot of these, like half the damage we did from more than 300 meters away, so that's not bad at all. 7-minute game, and we couldn't carry it, guys. It's unfortunate, but it is the case. By the way, this is not my setup on the AMX 1375. I apologize. I selected the LHM TV and then took my screenshots of these battle results, so I do apologize. I can't really talk about the statistics of the vehicle or anything because you're looking at the LHM TV, not the 1375, but I will do another video on the 1375 soon, guys, and I will show you how I have that thing set up. I hope this is helpful. Do sub if it helps you out, guys, and you're enjoying the content. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, recommendations, just comment below. I will get back to you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care now, and bye-bye.